2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
KQFN AM Tempe, K257 CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM, K240 EU Cotton Hills at 95.9 FM.
Listen to Jim Rome and the Jungle weekday mid-mornings on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic, live from the Harmon Solar Studios.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Blender on this Tuesday, the 27th of I was going to say December, February. As we start off 3 hours of nougaty goodness here on the Daily Blender. Jeffrey O'Brien out today. I'll talk about that in a minute. My name is Randy Wright. Right over there, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. As we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. You are the fourth dimension texting in at 888-368-1580. And lots going on today. I'll tell you about Jeffrey in a second. Pistons lost a heartbreaker last night. We'll talk about that. NFL, well, the worst team in the NFL raised their ticket prices. Talk about that in a few minutes. We've got some random facts for you. Cam Newton in the middle of a melee at a youth football game. And in the second hour, Keon Rose's college football primer. Now, many of you are getting ready. There's, 3 or 4 games left in the college basketball season. And Keon Rose, did I say football?
You did say football accidentally.
I meant basketball. I'm sorry. Anyway, Keon Rose's college basketball primer coming up in the second hour. And lots of different things happening. Some NFL news today on this date in Big George's sports history, and a whole lot more. But Keon, what the hell's going on with you? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, just kind of hanging out. Had some Thai food for lunch, so that's nice.
What'd you get?
Oh man, I get the green curry essentially every time.
Cream curry?
The green curry.
Oh, green curry.
Yeah.
That's a thing? Or?
Yeah, they got the green curry, the red curry, and the yellow curry. And they all have different kind of vegetables and other things in each curry that makes it taste different.
Mm-hmm.
But the green curry is my favorite one. And then I get it spicy as all hell. And that's lunch.
Now, do you have a place you like to go to?
Yeah, not far from the station is La's Thai Cuisine. So I've been there probably more than a few occasions. They know me by name. So
Really?
That's it. Yeah, it's
you like walking up. Hey, Keon. Hey.
Yeah, it's one of those. But yeah, I like that spot a lot. There's a few around the valley that I've been trying out, but the one that I eat the most at is that one.
All right.
They got a nice lunch special.
All right, there it is. Keon's recommendation for Thai food in Scottsdale. If you're in the East Scottsdale area, and I say East because we're east. Our station is east of the airport. Is the Thai food place? Is that east of the airport?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. Jeffrey not in today. He's at an annual event that's known as the Naked Man Festival. It's been around for about 1,000 years in Japan. The Somensai Festival, commonly known as the Naked Man Festival, involves hundreds of loincloth-clad men gathering at the Kokazichi Temple in Oshu to wrestle ownership for a bag of talismans blessed by the temple chief priest. That's where Jeffrey is today. He's wrestling other mostly naked guys with a loincloth for the blessed talismans by the temple chief priest here in Japan. It's a big thing for Jeffrey. You guys need to understand and respect the fact that Jeffrey, very cognizant of many different cultures, and this is a thing he likes to get involved in. Loincloth and all. He goes in there and he tries it. Now, he has got the talisman several times because he's Jeffrey O'Brien. This festival where naked men wearing loincloths wrestle for this talisman goes back about 1,000 years. It's held annually on the 7th day of the Lunar New Year. So it's not every year. It's just the Lunar New Year. And according to Daigo Fujinami, chief priest of the Kokasuki Temple, announced that this year is going to be the last. It's going to be the last due to the aging of individuals involved in the festival and a shortage of successors, according to Daigo Fujinami, chief priest. That's where Jeffrey is today. Now, it's Tuesday. I'm not sure if he'll be back and ready to go tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But Jeffrey O'Brien at the annual event commonly known as the Naked Man Festival in Japan. You know, sometimes, Keon, I don't like to I don't like to say where Jeffrey is and what he's doing. But I felt this one was one we had to talk about.
Kind of had no choice.
I mean, the history, the background, 1,000 years. See, that's the kind Jeffrey is. He's a guy, he's like an old soul. He likes to get in there in these festivals that are 1,000 years old.
And isn't this the last one? Weren't you telling me this was?
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah.
So
he had to be there. He couldn't miss it.
Yeah, no, this is the last one. He's been there several times. He's a multiple winner of these talismans that are blessed by the temple chiefs. He several times he's won that. So Jeffrey will be in northeastern Japan. Probably the festival is already done. I want to say we will effort to get Jeffrey on the phone, but I don't think it's going to happen. Knowing him, he probably he got in there, got his loincloth on, it probably wrestled away that talisman, and then jumped on a private jet. That sounds like Jeffrey to me. I don't know.
I don't think you're wrong. Don't think you're wrong.
888-368-1580. Big George says, hey, hello, Randy. Hello, Keon. Happy Tuesday. Big George wanting us to know that I see the week of lies continues with Randy saying Jeffrey's at the Naked Man Festival. I have it on good authority that he is not at the Naked Man Festival. Also, you weren't stuck at the weather convention last week. We can all just be truthful, or can't we all just be truthful? I was at the weather hexagon last week, Big George. I don't know what you're talking about. Lost Toby. Hey, Randy's back. Yep, I was back yesterday. Keon can confirm I was back yesterday.
Randy was. Mm-hmm.
Ralph, I'm here with Jeffrey. He needs to stop coming here. So Ralph is saying that Jeffrey's at his house. Mr. Pink Eye says Jeffrey's at a Swingers Festival temple event. No, it's the Naked Man event it's a festival every year in Northeast Japan, annual event commonly known as the Naked Man Festival. And 1,000 different guys in loincloths are fighting and wrestling for the talisman blessed by the temple's chief priest. 1,000-year-old festival.
Yeah.
Daigo Fujinami, chief priest of the temple, is not a liar. Jeffrey's there.
So don't
Gotta
go
let you-
disrespecting the Naked
No.
Man Festival.
No.
Don't do that.
Chief Scholes says, why can't you just tell us Jeffrey is sick or drunk? Hearing he's at a Naked Man Wrestling Festival has me throwing up in my mouth. I'm sorry to hear that, Chief Skull.
Look, it's
But
an
that's-
ancient tradition. I don't know what
It's
you
a
want us to do about it.
1,000-year-old tradition. Yeah.
I know you wanted the comforting lie, but what do you want? We can't do that to you.
1,000-year-old festival, and Jeffrey's there. Let's see here. Lacrosse guy, Hall of Fame texter says, hey, Blender, road tripping to Tucson with some Desert Vista High School players with us. Luck against those pesky Catholics is Go, Jojo, Alyssa, Franny, and Go Thunder. All right, there you go. I mean, Thunder's got to win, right? I mean, what do the Catholics have that the Thunder don't have, Keon? I mean,
presumably
they've got to win. I mean, they're Thunder.
You hope so, but the Catholics are Catholic.
Well, the Catholics are but can they stand up to Thunder? See what I'm saying?
That's a tough
That's
one.
power right there.
That's a tough one.
Let's see here. Sun Devil Raul says if Jeffrey is risking losing his American man card for this foreign loincloth gathering, no, this is manly. Yeah, look, when you can get some sort of blessed thing from a temple priest and you go in with a loincloth and you get that, see, that's what I'm talking about. If you get a blessed talisman from a temple a chief priest, doesn't matter.
It's hard to beat, and you got to do the loincloth because that's how they make sure that you don't have weapons. It's got to be completely unarmed combat.
Yeah,
has to be.
And we know that Jeffrey can take care of himself. Fifth letter says, I thought Jeffrey stopped going to those pride parades. This is not a pride parade. This is a loincloth, a wrestling match, if you will. Thousands show up for this thing. And you get a bag of talismans blessed by the temple chief priest. That means something. See what I'm saying? It's not a pride parade. Lost Toby says I wasn't back yesterday, so it didn't count. All right, well, thank you, Lost Toby. I appreciate you.
Glad it officially counts, I guess.
Yeah, I appreciate you're back today. CK says, good afternoon, fellas. Weather Daddy, beer me. Happy Backdoor Taco Tuesday. Huzzah!
It's backyard taco.
Not sure what that means.
Well, backyard taco is a delicious restaurant. Not what he said.
I mean, we'll give him a huzzah. I mean, there you go. I mean, oh my God, Pierre is on here talking Frenchy.
Oh
Frenchy,
yeah,
Frenchy
no, I got
again.
hit with that Friday. I had to.
Bonjour, les gars. Oh, geez. How do I do this? Is there like a way to make this go away?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
can-
it could. There
Oh
should
my
be a
God.
translate button.
Translate.
Mine stopped working Friday, the very
oh
day I
my
needed it. So I had to
God. Let's
copy
see.
it from
Emoji, link.
the text line and then put it in Google Translate.
Oh, geez. I can't. How do I translate this? Oh my God. Let's see here. Let's go up here. No, that's not it. Hey, I'll be back to you, Pierre, in just a bit. Florida Mustard, Randy on a roll. On a roll for what? I don't know what I.
And maybe it's a compliment. Maybe he's just saying you're rolling today.
Fighting Wampa wants to know the eternal question: how does something that only happens on a lunar New Year be annual?
Oh, I don't know enough about. I assume the Lunar New Year was
maybe
every year.
Every year is a lunar New Year.
Yeah, it had. That is what I
Maybe.
assumed. I don't know these things. Yeah,
Let's see if I go over here. Is this translate over here? Oh, geez, no.
I think it's. Look, Jeffrey left us very little explanation as to how this thing worked.
Yeah.
So we had to look it up ourselves. Maybe it didn't go great. What's it to you?
Fifth letter says, Randy, I'm sicker than the dog right now. Need an option on whiskey. What's the best whiskey for a running nose, sore throat, and ear infection? Wow. I'd say maybe NyQuil.
Though I do know that there are people who, when they start getting sick, they go right to the whiskey. And they swear
That's a thing.
that a nice shot of whiskey will clear up a lot of things.
Mm.
This has not been my experience. What I find is that I just get very drunk, but I'm still quite sick.
Mm.
So
So you don't care that you have a cold then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the whiskey doesn't really change a whole lot, but then you've got whiskey in your system. So that's not bad. But with what a lot of other people are saying there, that it actually clears it up for them. I'm envious, quite frankly. I'm jealous.
Average Joe trying to help out here says Jack Daniel's honey whiskey works for him. Honey whiskey?
Yeah, the honey's probably good for you. Yeah.
Honey whiskey? Really? Is that what you do, Average Joe? You go out and you get the honey whiskey? Really?
I've had it. It's real good.
You've had it?
Yeah.
Keon.
I understand that.
I gave you that nice bottle of Texas whiskey, and
I drank it all.
Chief Skull wants to know if Jeffrey's at least wearing a cup in this loincloth wrestling match that he's involved in. I'd be afraid of getting hit in the huevos. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure that, Jeffrey does this every year. He goes to this every year. This is not like the first time he's gone to it. So I would imagine that he has all the equipment that he needs going into this naked man wrestling match. Mr. Robert, damn it, Pierre, type in English. I mean, Pierre, you don't want to get Wilbur mad at you. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we've got some NBA basketball. We got some NFL to talk about. Keon Rose's basketball, men's college basketball primer. It's all coming your way here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Phoenix Suns are back in action Thursday night. They'll take on the Houston Rockets, a 2-game series with the two teams playing again in Phoenix on Saturday. The Suns, coming off a victory on Sunday against the LA Lakers, are 34-24 on the season. Tonight in the NBA, the Portland Trailblazers are home to face the Miami Heat. Miami a 7-point road favorite, minus 295, while the Trailblazers are plus 240. 212.5 is the over-under. Houston will take on Oklahoma City tonight. The Thunder a 10-point home favorite with an over-under of 234.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Did you find yourself scrambling for a last-minute Valentine's Day gift this year? What if there's a gift that will last longer than flowers or perfume and protect your loved ones along the way, regardless of when you get it? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a dozen roses, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get the 2023 Nissan Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines. Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Auto Pacific segmentation, excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2023 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city 34 highway to 30 city 37 highway for 2023 Nissan Rogue. As shown, Nissan Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive, 28 city 34 highway. Actual mileage may vary.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit TalkNowAZ.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Tuesday, February 27th. Lots of things happening on the text line. We'll get to that in a minute. If you're wondering where Jeffrey is, he's at a 1,000-year-old event in Japan. He had to take some time off. He had to go there. He likes to go there every year, and he multiple times has won the talisman that have been blessed by the temple chief priest at the Somen Sai Festival, the Naked Man Festival, where Jeffrey has to don a loincloth and get in there and wrestle away. And we know Jeffrey can wrestle pretty damn good. I mean, let's just face it. He gets in there and he takes care of business. But he's won that several times, and we will go ahead and do today's show. Maybe he'll be back tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, you're stuck with Keon Rose, the Sex Man, and Sports Talk Radio, and myself, Randy White. And last night, the Pistons were in action, which was kind of a weird game, Keon. Not going to lie to you. Pistons have 8 wins. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like this was stolen from them by the Knicks. Let's listen to what happened in the final seconds of the game, and we'll talk about it. So stand by. Here we go. Let's listen to the final seconds of the game.
Rebound deflected, chased down, saved by Grimes to Fontecchio. Knocked away. Hartenstein picks it up. Out to DiVincenzo. 10 seconds ago, he throws it away. Ball loose, picked up by Brunson. Brunson inside the Hart. Hart's banks it in. Let's take the lead.
Now, what you did not get to see there was DiVincenzo dove into the legs of one of the Piston players. So now, Keon, to me, when I was watching this highlight, the ref was standing right there. Why was there a no call?
That's a great question because I don't know. And I struggle with it because I don't know if I have a good answer for why there was a no call. It really seems like, and I'm trying to look at it again right now. It seems pretty egregious. You got an official standing right there, and these are some of the most frustrating calls in the NBA because it's one thing if a guy's nowhere near the call and then he kind of inserts himself and he makes a,
but he was right in front of it.
When the official's standing right there, we all see it. The frustration is, why can't the guy who gets paid to see it, why doesn't he see it? And I do think the Pistons were robbed. And it is a little tough to feel bad for a team that's only managed to win 8 games this year. But for them, that means that every win that they have a chance to get becomes that much more important. And so it stinks. It really does stink for them. I feel really bad for these guys because they clearly put themselves in a position to win the game. They have limited firepower. They're not that talented. Their best player is injured. And, I mean, he was in the game, but I don't know if he's like 100% what he was before.
But clearly after the game, Monty upset. We know Monty Williams from being here in Phoenix, but listen to what he had to say after the game last night.
Where's the New York media now? The absolute worst call of the season. No call. And enough's enough. We've done it the right way. We've called the league. We've sent in clips. We're sick of hearing the same stuff over and over again. We had a chance to win the game, and the guy dove into Asar's legs, and there was a no call. That's an abomination. You cannot miss that in an NBA game, period. And I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of our guys asking me, what more can we do, coach? That situation is exhibit A to what we've been dealing with all season long, and enough's enough. You cannot dive into a guy's legs in a big-time game like that and there be a no call. It's ridiculous, and we're tired of it. We just want a fair game called, period. And I got nothing else to say. We want a fair game, and that was not fair.
I hear that Monty was saying that the Pistons have done throughout the year, they have sent clips to the NBA. They have sent, eyewitness accounts. They have sent memos, and yet the officiating is not any better. I don't know what question to ask here, Keon. Is it somebody that's against the Pistons? The refereeing crew, are they just not? Are they really that blind that they can't see a guy diving into another guy's legs to try to gain control of the basketball? Is this basketball?
Yeah,
I don't even know what to ask.
I mean, DiVincenzo, I don't think was trying to dive into his legs, but the result was that he actually did that. And if that's what happened, You need to call it. They didn't. I don't think it's the league against the Pistons, because I don't think the league needs to be against the Pistons. Most nights the Pistons are against the Pistons, but they should get the calls right. It doesn't matter. They should get the calls right regardless. And Monty has been a guy. He hasn't rocked the boat on some of the bad calls that have happened. We've seen some other coaches do it though.
Yeah.
Frank Vogel's done it a little bit. Kind of talked about it. Darvin Ham talked about it the other day. He didn't like the way that Suns game was officiated. I don't necessarily agree, but I have noticed that a lot of coaches are coming out and saying it. Doc Rivers came out and spoke on it. I forget the name of the Raptors head coach, but when they played the Lakers earlier in the year and the whistles weren't being blown on calls that actually I thought were pretty clear, should have been called, he had to come out in that game and say this is egregious because in the end the calls weren't being made. And now Monty is saying we did this the right way. Every time we've had a call that we don't understand, we make the clip, we send it to the league to try and get an explanation, and the league does not. Exactly. And the league doesn't offer back satisfying explanations, quite frankly, and that is a major problem. And to the point where so many coaches now are saying, "Yeah, screw it, I'll eat the fine just so I can say what the league is not doing." And the only thing that's going to fix this is transparency, in my opinion.
So do you think that the Monty and the Pistons are going to get fined for this?
Monty will. I mean, I don't know if they'll find the organization necessarily.
How can they, even after the game, the crew chief came out and said, we made a mistake. How can the NBA fine Monty in this situation?
It's league policy. And this is one of those things where, people hate bureaucracy, right? Because there's a policy, there's a rule, but the rule does not take into account any of the context about what happened. None whatsoever. And so you end up with a guy like Monty, his final resort, because he cannot get consistent explanations from the league office, is to turn to the media and say, hey, this is what is happening. And the NBA needs to get their crap together because this is the worst officiated product in sports, if you ask me.
So even after the game, Keon, you're telling me that the NBA is going to levy a fine against Monty or the Pistons because he talked about their officiating?
I would be surprised if they didn't. That's how they've reacted to all these other coaches. That's how they reacted.
But their own NBA official came out and said, we made a mistake.
Yeah. And, earlier in the year when was it Darvin Ham? They agreed that he was right earlier in the year too. They fined him anyway. The publicly criticizing the officials will get you in trouble every time because they're about protecting the officials, and that's apparently more important.
I don't see how the officials need to be protected here in this situation.
I don't see it either, especially if they made a mistake. We all saw they made a mistake.
Yeah.
They acknowledged the mistake. What is the issue? But this is how the league operates. And it seems like a pretty ironclad rule. Like they don't usually let people skate by on getting away with criticizing the officials, even if they're right.
So if you're let's put you in Monty's place. If you're in Monty's place and you see this happening, and this is a travesty, are you saying something after the game about the officiating?
Yeah. I don't think you have a choice.
Even if you get fined?
Even if you get fined, because the issue is and I think it's a smart thing to do. You've got to be able to say to those guys in the locker room, I'm fighting for you, even when it feels like the league is against us, even if it feels like, no one has our back, like I'm still going to fight for you guys. And and don't get it wrong. I see that you put in effort. I see that there was a game that you did everything you could to win, and it was taken from you. And so I'm gonna speak out on that. I think for what the locker room is, he has to do that.
I think there was two loose balls after that. Detroit got the ball, recovered the loose ball, ended up with foul shots, and game was over. 113-111 final score. Detroit loses, and I have to commiserate with Monty. I mean, he was very measured about what he said. I mean, if I'm Monty, I say something else. I don't just go in it like Monty was very graceful about how he went about that. But wow, and they're going. Wow, they're going to fine him in. Oh, I just can't. I can't see that. I'm sorry. I have a hard time with that.
Monty is a better person than me. The things that I would have said, I might have never coached another NBA game again. It's just, I can't understand how he was able to be so composed in that moment because
he wasn't going to say anything else, and he was just going to make a statement and leave.
Dante DiVincenzo is not, I don't think, a dirty player. I think he was trying to go after the ball. It was in a desperate moment.
Sure.
They should have called that. But he ended up going near Thompson's legs, and it looked like somebody trying to tackle Derrick Henry.
Absolutely.
Like,
it was a tackle.
Yeah.
It was a tackle.
It 100% was. And the official was less than a foot away. I mean, he was right on top of it. I don't know what else you're supposed to do there. But I know this. The coaches are going to continue to criticize the NBA publicly, regardless of the fine. And the NBA has two options at that point. They can raise the fine to try and silence these coaches, or they can fix the officiating in their sport. And I think that that's probably the one that everybody wants to have happen.
Yes, I agree 100%. I think that Major League Baseball and the NFL need to follow suit. 888-368-1580. Pull the plug. Thousands of men in loincloth, rice wine in one hand and fish oil in the other. Whoever gets the most moist loincloths win.
That's not how that works. Nope. It's not capture the flag with loincloths. It's not.
You don't.
You just wrestle. You just wrestle the person mano a mano.
You take the talisman from the whoever grabbed it, and you're not out there collecting loincloths.
The loincloths stay on. That is a very important part of this.
Yeah, Jeffrey wouldn't. We'll check with him when he comes back. Big George says, Monty, I agree. NBA officiating stinks, but it stinks for everybody. Monty just comes off as a sore loser. I don't think so, Big George. This was a blown call. It should have been a loose ball foul, and even the NBA officials say the same thing. Go ahead, Kia. Sorry.
No, you're 100% right, and it stinks for everybody. But Big George, how come you didn't say that about any of the other coaches that spoke out against this? How come we're just going after Monty? And again, I'll say what I said before. I think Monty owes it to those guys in the locker room to let everybody know that this was poor officiating and to not let the league sweep it under the rug like they do every single time they screw up. They give you that little 2-minute report and go, oops, our bad, should have done better. But then they never do. And we don't need just Monty doing it. We need every single coach saying stuff like this until the league gets it together. I understand bad calls get made. Refs are human, but you can't miss a call that bad with no consequences in an NBA game. There's money on the line. You've got gambling partners. There are fans in attendance to see the game. You've got players playing their butts off, especially a team like the Pistons, where they need to play their absolute best game to just have a chance to win. And they did that, and it was taken from them. How do you go back to those guys in that locker room and you didn't stand up for them and try to defend them against the officials? I just don't think it makes any sense to criticize Monty for that.
Mr. Rolber says, tell Monty to go with the team to the naked man. They would stand out. Well, I mean, they would because they're
all like 6'5". That'll do it.
Really tall
and not Japanese, notably.
Yeah, pretty tall guys. Yeah. Pull the plug says it's amazing how sports leagues find everyone talking about the refs, but never hold the refs accountable. It's hypocritical.
Yeah, but
they spelled refs but as one word. refs but.
It is hypocritical, and I understand that these referees and officials and umpires across all of sports have strong unions, but there isn't anything you can do as far as criticizing these guys.
Yeah.
You know, at least bring what they're doing into the public focus. Even that you can't do. Come on.
I would agree 100%. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, more NBA and NFL here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent. Oh no, Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more. So what did the doctor say?
He said I might need surgery.
Wow, it's that serious.
Well, we won't know for sure until I talk with a surgeon, but I'm lost. This is all new to me.
The decision to have surgery isn't easy, but neither is living with pain.
There is an alternative to surgery. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach and can restore pain-free joint function so you can avoid surgery. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. We also help restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. So when traditional medicine suggests you need surgery, how about taking another approach? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
It's now even easier to serve on an Arizona jury. If your company doesn't pay for jury service, the court will reimburse your lost wages up to $300 if picked to serve in Superior Court. So next time you see a jury summons in the mail, don't ignore it, or you could face a $500 fine. Remember, our courts are fair because you are there. Learn more at azcourts.gov/jury service. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Supreme Court.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the six-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Welcome back to the Blender. Lots happening here on the Big Flamethrower this weekend. Thursday night, 7 p.m., GCU takes on UT Rio Grande Valley, and it's also Thunder's birthday. Thursday night, show up for all the festivities. Friday night, we've got some high school basketball for you. That's at 7 o'clock Friday night. Saturday, AIA basketball beginning at 10 and also at noon, then at 3, then at 5. It's the playoff season and lots of AIA basketball for you. Keon, I'm sorry. It seems like you got canceled. You and Ralph got canceled.
Yeah. Yeah,
by,
we preempted by
preempted by
high school
AIA.
basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you need to save your stuff, till the next show. Then at 8:00 on Saturday night, Grand Canyon University basketball taking on Stephen F. Austin. That's senior night. Starts at 8:00. And then on the 3rd of March, not much happening. However, next week, NASCAR will be out at the Phoenix Raceway. And on Friday night, you'll get to hear the General Tire race from 6 to 9. And, oh, my God, you're going to be on next weekend. Yeah, Weekend Warriors. And then without interruption, Keon Rose. Right before the cars qualifying at noon. So
it's exciting.
Yeah, William.
Yeah.
You gonna talk NASCAR on your
no, because I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Not no, but hell no.
It's one of those things that I appreciate, but I don't know enough.
Hey, listen, if you need me to come in and talk NASCAR, I can.
I might.
If you want me to come,
I
listen. I keep telling Ralph, and he just keeps. I'll give you a call. Okay, whatever. Yeah, but I mean, listen, Keon, I'm here to help you out.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know my weaknesses, and NASCAR is one.
Thursday, there's a to be announced Arizona at UCLA. I think that's part of the Pac-12. Don't you think that's part of the Pac-12 playoffs, Ken? March 7th. I think it's part of the Pac-12. Part of the playoffs. They only have 3 games left.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
When does the Pac-12 tournament start?
I don't know.
Because none of these tournaments all start at the same time, so you're just
right. That's what I was saying. 888-368-1580 Chief Skulls. I thought Keon wasn't being interrupted, so now he is by AIA BS basketball. No, it's high school basketball. Chief Skull. High school, not BS. HS.
Yeah, and look, I appreciate all the things that the AIA does for high school sports. To me, I'm not. There's nothing to be offended about. When you look at how important high school sports are to everything else that comes after, it's incredibly important, and I think it's good for these kids to have a place to be able to play, and then have people in their community be able to follow these games, and have their friends and family and everybody else be able to listen. And hey, if you want to hear some of the next future college stars, and if you're lucky, pro stars, that's where it happens. It happens in high school. Nothing wrong with it. I'll be back not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, there you go. And he'll talk NASCAR.
Well, if I must talk NASCAR, you will be joining me. I'll call you.
You just call me. I'll help you out. Let's see here. Hamilton Porter says, on the bright side, at least no one stormed the court. You mean in the Pistons game? Is that what you're talking about?
No, there was a was it the Kansas game the other day? There was a game where the court was stormed, and there were collisions involved, and now we're having the conversation of should people be allowed to storm the court over again.
I mean, okay. All right. So what's your thought there? Storming the court at a
Duke's.
Yeah, Duke, the center. What's his name? Flower box. What's his name? Fluoroscopy.
Filipowski. Kyle Filipowski.
There it is. Geez, he got hurt, and it seemed like the Wake Forest guys didn't want to stop hitting him. He just got hit several times trying to get off the court. What do you think about that, Keon? Do you, as a coach, train your guys, look, run off the court? If we get beat in an opposing stadium, center, field house, whatever, run off the damn court.
I would, until the NCAA decides this is something that we're getting rid of and banning. And I don't necessarily know how you stop doing that. I did see Jay Billis over on the ESPN go, you know what you would do is if you run out on the court, you hire enough police and officers out there. And if you get on the court, you're arrested. That's it.
Oh, come on.
First off, I think that people will still try to storm the court, but now you've got people trying to also avoid police officers. I don't think that makes that any better. I promise.
If you're Arizona or Arizona State and you go into a place and they beat you and you're ranked, you've got to have the wherewithal to teach your guys, look, run off the court. The final basket, run off the court. And Flipolowski or Fluoroscopy, what's his guy's name? There it is.
Yeah.
He didn't run off the court. He was walking.
Yeah.
You know what? Run off the damn court. Just run off as fast. As soon as you see the basket go in and we're beat and the game's over, run off the court.
And even if you won and you might be, that might be a big rivalry or whatever, you might still want to clear out just because even if they're your own fans, a wall of people aren't going to be able to, maybe tell friend from foe,
They're not going to be able to keep those people in the stands. Those high school kids, college kids. They're not going to keep those guys in there.
Especially in the ACC. Basketball is what a lot of these schools live for. Duke, North Carolina, Wake Forest, NC State, like a lot of these schools, like basketball season is exactly what it's all about.
Yeah,
and beating your rival in the ACC.
Yeah. Especially a ranked team. Mm-hmm. If you're not ranked and you beat another team,
it's the biggest game of the year, and people are going to act accordingly. And you can definitely try. But I don't think you're going to necessarily be able to do it. You got to teach players to protect themselves. And I do think that, maybe even the school going through this is the conduct that we expect when you do storm the court.
Yeah.
This is what we expect out of you. And then if you violate that, you specifically are done.
I got news for you. If you come across the public address system and say, I'm sorry, students, no storming the court until the visiting team has left. You think they're going to listen to that?
No. People have been trying to stop young people and teenagers from doing whatever the hell they want to do for years, for centuries even. That doesn't seem to work, really.
There will be no storming the court. Students, remain in your section. And if you are discovered, we're going to flunk you out of history.
And it's funny because a lot of these schools are throwing their hands up because the NCAA has basically said to the athletic department, if the students storm the court, we're fining the school. And the school is like, well, what are you doing that to us for? We didn't organize a court storming.
Yeah.
No one plans it. There's no meeting.
Now, Nebraska was on TV just recently before I got on the air. The AD and the dental smock, they stormed the court after a Nebraska basketball win.
Yeah.
The AD and the dental smock.
You're caught up in the emotions of it.
Both of them did. They asked each other, are we storming the court? And he says, I think we have to.
Yeah. But it's not like everybody in the building got together. It's one of those things where you see everybody else going and you're like, how insane does it look if everybody's storming the court? This is our team. This is our school, and we don't join.
If you're going to storm the court, man, be responsible. Don't run into the other basketball team. Don't run into the visitors. Don't taunt them. Don't, just stay away from them. Go to your team. Stay away from the visitors. Stay away from the visitors.
It's the only rule. It's the only rule.
Fifth letter on the text line at 888-368-1580 says, ran out of my whistle pig. Thanks, Average Joe. Wait a minute. No, wait. No, wait. Why is Average Joe giving you whistle pig? Keon and I want to know why Average Joe is giving you whistle pig.
Mm-hmm.
Keon, you could use whistle pig, right?
Yes, always.
I could use whistle pig. Why is fifth letter texting in at 888-368-1580 saying, ran out of my whistle pig, thanks, Average Joe. And you and I don't have any whistle pig.
Yeah, my whiskey shelf is empty. Notably, no whistle pig on it. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Niner-Napolis says, I heard a take on the four-letter word morning show that Filipowski, what's his name? Actually struck his foot and was trying to trip fans initially. And that's how he got hurt. True?
That's not what I saw.
I still have not seen the replay. I have not heard the take besides morning Keon thoughts.
Yeah, no, there's a second angle directly above the action. He wasn't trying to trip anybody. He was trying to get the hell out of the way. And a reckless fan, basically they had a knee-to-knee collision. He wasn't trying to trip anybody. Not from what I saw.
I didn't see it. Fifth letter. Average Joe is hooking you up with whistle pig. We're going to talk about that and much more, and the NFL, and a whole lot more in the next hour of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3. The whistle pig. Kim?
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
8 Out presents Terrifying Jobs.
Bull Rider, take 2.
Today we're talking with Clifford Maxwell, a rodeo bullfighter. His job? Distract raging bulls from going after thrown riders. Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked up.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah. Distracted drivers terrify me.
This message is brought to you by ADOT, the ABA, and this station.
The Valley of the Sun will roar to life this spring.
This ought to get pretty wild here.
Why is that, you may ask? Because NASCAR is coming to Phoenix, and it's going to be a weekend of good vibes the whole family won't forget. The best-in-class fan experience meets racing's toughest drivers for 3 days of action on and off the track, all surrounded by the beautiful Estrella Mountains. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
It is the Daily Blender on a February 27th Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. And we're broadcasting live from the Harmon Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. You're texting in Fourth Dimension on the text line at 888-368-5080. Alongside the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio, Keon Rose. My name is Randy White, and we are heading for 6 o'clock. Well, I mean, probably like a little earlier, maybe like 3 minutes, like 5:57, maybe. 888-368-1580. Lots of texts coming in here. We were talking about storming the court. Dirty Bird says, with ASU's record, no one's storming the court. Well,
not.
I mean, Cecil, the Wonder Dog, he agrees.
If ASU were to beat a top-ranked school, that would be worthy of a court storming. It depends if that person is your rival or not.
I still think there's got to be some sort of a rule in place. I hate to say rule, but some sort of what do you call it? Some sort of a thing in place for the kids not to storm and not to mess with the visiting team. Because I mean, I can see too many things happening with the college game. How many times have we seen fights break out? Just this year, there's been several fights that have broken out in college games. You know, there's been 3. There was that minor team just recently.
Yeah,
that was like a melee.
The University of Incarnate Word. Yeah,
Incarnate Word. Think about that for a second. They're getting into a free for all with another team. You know, I'm just saying, you've got to have some respect for the other team. Okay, your team beat them. All right, they're going home. Sad. Do you have to run onto the court and run into these people?
Yeah, because it looked like the fan that hurt Kyle Filipowski, what he did was he tried to taunt him. And so he got in his face. And then Filipowski, not knowing what direction he was going to go in, tried to go to his right. And they just ran into each other. But if that fan had instead said, I'm going to go to the middle of the court and I'm going to celebrate with all the other Wake Forest fans,
yeah,
Kyle's probably fine. He probably does not get injured here.
Big T on the text line at 888-368-1580 says, when's the last time someone actually been heard storming the court and not just act like a huge vagina when it happens? Well, now wait. Now wait a minute.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Let me have you walking off a court and about 1,000 people come storming towards you. And let's see how you deal with it. Yeah, he is hurt. He is hurt, Big T.
The injury was nearly a serious injury. Like they were afraid he was done for the year originally.
He had an ice pack on his knee today during practice. He is hurt.
I say this as somebody who has bad knees and whose bad knees are the direct result of a basketball injury. Have you ever knocked knees with anybody? Full speed?
It's not fun.
It's fun. Not only is it a horrible feeling, you could tear a meniscus like that.
Well, you could do a lot more damage.
You could tear an ACL. But if you
God.
tear a meniscus at this point in the season, this close to March, he's done. He's
a lot
done.
of people talk about the Caitlin Clark incident. Did she fake it? I don't think so.
I
think
thought
she got turned around.
I thought she sold it a little bit, but the collision was real. She didn't fake that part of it.
And then when the Flipowski, fluorocortisol, what's the guy's name?
Oh, Kyle Filipowski.
Oh yeah, the coach got out there and he pushed the guy away, and the guy was like, "No." You see what I mean?
Yeah,
jackass.
But no, just these injuries. I don't know how common they are. I don't think we report on every one. If a guy got hurt on a court storming and it was two schools you don't really watch and or have never heard of, we're probably not having this conversation. It's that it's a star of Duke basketball that we're having this conversation. Because generally speaking, when things involve Duke University, we care more.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. And I'm sorry, there's no way you can watch that injury and think to yourself, oh, this guy's just faking and being a wuss. Stop it.
You just got to think about what you're doing. If you're storming the court, don't go antagonize the visiting team. Don't. Fifth letter says, Randy Average Joe did not buy me anything. He suggested Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. So I went out to buy it. Guess you did not get the picture. Damn, I love this show.
Yeah, sending pictures is kind of hit or miss on the text line. It doesn't always show it.
I don't get the pictures. So,
but thanks for listening, though.
I mean, Average Joe, if you're hooking up Fifth Letter with Whistle Pig, what's wrong with your guy Randy here? And Keon likes the whiskey too.
I will settle for
not trying to,
much less expensive than Whistle Pig.
I'm not trying to manipulate whiskey out of the Average Joe. I'm just
same.
Jeffrey always gets the damn whiskey, thinks it's his, and I don't get any.
Jeffrey's office is quite frankly ridiculous as far as whiskey goes. Yeah,
donate
just on donated whiskey alone.
Jeffrey gets all the whiskey. It should be all of ours.
He's got like 2 shelves.
I mean, it should rotate around. I mean, he should get one, then I should get the next one, and then you should get the next one. You see what I mean? Should be like rotating. We should have all sorts of whiskey. But no, Jeffrey's like, oh, thank you, so-and-so, for giving me all this whiskey.
And then it stays in his office and is only drunk by him. Just saying. Sounds like I'm complaining right now. I'm not complaining.
I think you are. Yeah.
I'm complaining a little. That's true. Yeah. I didn't want to accept responsibility. It's fine.
Coom says Keon Rose is really the sexiest man in sports talk radio. His voice is like a smooth jazz crescendo of white owls. What the hell?
Okay. I was with you with the smooth jazz crescendo there. I did used to do some voiceovers for a jazz show, but yeah, you lost me at the owls. You lost me at the owls. I do like owls. They're great animals, but I don't understand.
Just owls. It was white owls.
White owls. It's very specific. What would a
white owl sound like?
That's a good point. That's also a good point.
The Berg says, Randy, can I have a shot of whiskey for me, please? Well, I mean, yeah. Then he says, is it true the G League team has been named the Arizona Alligators?
No. No.
Come on.
We're not doing the alligator
Come on.
thing, Berg. Like, you're trying to make it happen. And the way that a good blender derailing works, in my experience, and it is limited experience, but in my experience, is it just kind of organically happens, and the next thing you know, we're on a subject and we have no idea how we got there, when, or why. You can't force it. You just got to let it happen.
Have a handful of people on the text line at 888-368-1580 asking about Jeffrey. He's out today. He is at an annual event commonly known as the Naked Man Festival. It's coming to an end after 1,000 years due to declining population in the area, according to Somansai Festival, commonly known as the Naked Man Festival organizer, Kokusi Kiji Temple in Oshu, chief priest. He says not enough people to take part in this, and Jeffrey has done this every year. I mean, for as long as I could remember. He's at this festival known as Naked Man event, where men, about up to 1,000 men, get into loincloths, and they fight for a blessed bag of a talisman, blessed by the temple chief priest, which happens to be a gentleman known as Daigo Fujinami. Daigo Fujinami, chief priest of the Kokusiki Temple. He's the guy that blesses those talisman. Jeffrey has won that several times in the past, and that's where he is today. So, yes. Big T says he's not even hurt. You mean Jeffrey? Or Big T also says Randy just went on a 30-second rant. Sounded like Joe Biden. What? Another face in the crowd says White Owls or a cheap cigar.
Okay, but that's even more confusing because now you've gone from describing a sound as an animal to describing a sound as a cigar. I'm still not clear on how that's supposed to work.
888-368-1580. It's the text line. So, what do you think of this, Keon? Carolina Panthers, who finished 2-15 last season, are raising the ticket prices by an average of 4%. That, according to the Associated Press, ticket prices are being raised on the lower level by 7%, while the upper level are going up by 1%. The ticket prices for the NFL's worst team last season is going up by average 4%. What do you think about this?
Yeah, that's a problem. I think that is just greed on the part of David Tepper. It reminds me of, and I hate to say this out loud because I hate to wish it on another fan base, but that's a Dan Snyder move. That is the product on the field. I am delusional about what it is that I'm putting out there for my paying customers, and I actually am taking advantage of the passion of the fan base and the passion of these people who have been rooting for this team for long before David Tepper got there. And I am going to capitalize on that financially. And the only way that works is if the Panthers get better at football. people will roll with it if that happens. But if you continue to be the worst team in the league or close to it, you're going to have people turn on you and turn pretty quick.
Will the Panthers be better this year?
A little.
So you're saying as of right now, no, it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, there's a lot of problems with that team. They don't have a ton of talent. I think that Bryce Young is in a position where he's now moving on to his second offensive system since being in the league.
Yeah.
That's not good. The number 1 overall pick, which would have been nice to get something to help Bryce Young, is going to the Bears. This is all bad. And unless they go out there in free agency and really make a giant splash, and with the remaining picks that they have, maybe they can go out and get something to happen. They do still have their second round pick, their third round pick, and their fourth round pick, and then they think they have the Titans fifth. So like the later picks in the draft, they're still all right, but the chance to get that top of the draft impact player that can help turn teams around quickly, they don't have access to that.
Will the Carolina Panthers trade up in the draft to get a quality quarterback, or what do you think they're going to do?
No, I think the owner really likes Bryce Young, so that's one. I think that the coach he hired, Canales from the Buccaneers, their former offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He hired him to work with Bryce Young. That's what he wanted. He liked Bryce Young. He was the one that actually told Frank Reich. He stepped over Frank Reich because Reich liked CJ Stroud and said, no, you're getting Bryce Young, and that's that. So no, I don't think that they're going to trade up. I also don't know if they have the draft capital to really trade up anyway. They have a good enough pick that if there's a solid quarterback that falls into the second round, like a Michael Penix or a Bo Nix or one of those caliber of guys, they might be able to pull the trigger on that. I just don't think they will because of how much David Tepper likes Bryce Young.
So what do the Panthers need to do to become relevant in the NFL?
I think that they need to start, and it's the same thing that every NFL team is involved with. But I think they need to go out and get some weapons and really start getting receivers around Bryce Young. The fact of the matter is his best target last year was Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is 34 years old.
More weapons,
and protect him. Get him an offensive line, so that he's not running for his life. He's a pocket quarterback ultimately.
So with your first pick, are you going offensive line or are you going weapon?
Because their first pick is at the top of the second round, that's a little tougher because it's not 100% clear who's going to be there. But I think you go best available of one of those positions, either receiver or offensive line. I've seen some mock drafts with them taking defensive line edge rusher. I don't know if they should necessarily force it because they're the kind of team, they've got problems everywhere. Like if a defensive lineman is the best player they have on their board, they should go ahead and take that guy. Or if it's a linebacker or whoever else it is, I don't think that the Panthers should try and force anything and look away from any talent because they have a lot of flaws. Like their defense wasn't good either.
All right, so they're heading into the draft in April. Do you see them selling picks later on, like the next couple of drafts to move up? I know they moved up. They gave a lot to the Bears to move up to get CJ Stroud. And now they're kind of stuck with him, don't you think?
Or I think you mean Bryce Young.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bryce Young.
They are stuck with him. But I don't even think that Bryce Young has no chance to develop in this league, though. I don't think that a young quarterback
didn't have time to deliver the football.
Yeah, he didn't have time to deliver the football, and the guys he was trying to throw to didn't separate. Like there just wasn't a whole lot for him to work with.
Yeah,
and I don't know if the answer to the Panthers' problems is take another young quarterback and then throw them into that situation. Like maybe a quarterback with some more size, a bigger quarterback, a guy with a stronger arm might have some more success. But if guys aren't open and he doesn't have time to throw, it's not going to give you much more success. I can tell you that.
All right, so we'll have to wait and see. But the Panthers are raising. If you're in North Carolina, you're listening. Panthers raising their football prices, and it should be a lot of fun to see how this pans out. Coming up next, Keon Rose's college basketball primer, and also more NFL news and some random facts for you. Maybe that will help you at a party. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin. And over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Frankie drives end to end, scoops it up and in with 2 seconds left. Frankie Collins end to end. Join the action this season and catch USC, UCLA, Washington, and Arizona when they come to Desert Financial Arena in the final year of the Pac-12 Conference. Collins over to Lance for 3. Bullseye! Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball. Onward to victory.
Are you ready for your passion to meet your purpose? The city of Chandler is one of the best run cities and best places to live in Arizona, where people express their passion through collaboration and teamwork as we serve our community of innovation. Come to Chandler, where passion meets purpose. Visit jointeamchandler.com for our current openings. That's jointeamchandler.com.
This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way, from up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet, weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this February 27th, Tuesday, here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Flappy Max wants to know, will 1580 and 99.3 Radio Ron have any UFL? No.
Where I hope you weren't serious. That was funny.
Sorry, Flappy Max. No. Hefty Lefty says the Panthers will be 4% better.
Because they're raising their tickets 4%. I actually don't think so. Maybe, but it depends on what they do in this draft. I just don't know. They have so much turnover in that building. I think David Tepper is legitimately insane. He's the kind of owner that thinks he knows everything. He's not a football guy.
Yeah.
And I always get worried when a guy who doesn't really know football steps over the top of actual football people in the building and doesn't let them do their jobs. That always scares the crap out of me.
Big George Randy, what's your take on the Coyotes You mean the Arizona Coyotes? The Coyotes and their 12-game losing streak. Just 2 months ago, we were talking about the playoffs. Playoffs need to be. We'd be lucky to win a game. Well, yeah. I mean, this team is sliding, and no doubt. This team is having a hard time, no doubt. But this team has no stars. They've got a few great players on the team. Max Keller is one of them. What do you expect? I mean, I know George expects winning, but it seems like they can't get the right combination of people, personnel in here to help this team. Their defense is terrible. Their defense is absolutely abhorrent. 888-368-1580. Let's see. Fifth letter says Whiskey Pig is my favorite. Did not want to make a big deal. We did not want to make that drive to Sam's or Total Wine, so I ran down the street for this Jack. Not a fan of flavored whiskey, but gonna try it. Well, I mean, that's up to you. Fifth letter. What you put in your mouth, that's up. I mean, wow. It's Kiss to Cook says U of A ASU tomorrow means 1580 free tickets for me. Not sure how that works out for you, Kiss to Cook. Will we have free tickets? Probably. Will we give them to you? Probably not. Unless you can win. I mean, Keon is the guy. Keon's the gatekeeper. I don't mind you texting me asking about free tickets to ASU U of A tomorrow at the bank in Tempe. One of the last games of the season, regular season for the Sun Devils. I don't mind you asking me, but Keon is the gatekeeper. He's the guy that gets the tickets, not me.
And we have not been given any tickets yet. So
I don't have anything.
That's not to say that we won't have any, because I don't know, but you'll have to listen tomorrow. And if we've got some, Radio Ron will let me know, and then I will pass that information along.
I'm looking up the Coyotes. Hang on. Coyotes schedule for tomorrow night. Who are they playing tomorrow night? Oh, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Arizona, it's 4 games. They're 4 games under 500, 23-29. Oh, my God. 6 games under 500. Sorry. And Montreal is where they're going to take on the Canadiens. Then they face the Toronto Maple Leafs in Toronto. Then they go take on the Ottawa Senators. Jeez. I mean, I'd like to see the Coyotes break their losing streak against the Canucks. I would like that very much. Pierre, I can't read your text. I'm sorry. I don't know how this works.
And the only thing I
don't know how this works.
What I did was I went to Google and I basically copied and pasted the text into that, and then it gave me a little translation.
Into Google?
Page. Yeah. Yeah. That's as good as I can give you.
I don't have like whatever magic button that oh geez. Yeah, see, look, I can't do that.
I might be able to help you out, maybe. If I can.
Pierre, I love you, Pierre, but I can't tú es l'homme le plus intéressant du monde.
You're an interesting guy, something like that.
Thank you.
this Monday.
Je vous salue in Fumont.
I
Mon
only
cigar, Alec Bradley, Princenato, Torpedo.
oh boy.
I can't even.
Yeah, I
Gee whiz.
I saw what Haruto just sent you, and
Haruto. Oh my God, it's all in Japanese.
Yep. All right. Here's what Pierre said.
I don't even know how to do this. Jeffrey didn't tell me.
Pierre said, "You, Randy, you are the most interesting man in the world. I salute you by smoking my Alec Bradley Prensado Torpedo cigar.
Oh, it's a
Health
damn
to
fine
you."
one. Yeah, health to you, my friend.
All right, let's see what Haruto just dropped
He's got
on us.
all those scratchings on there. I can't.
And I don't.
Looks like a chicken went right across his text. I can't figure out what he's doing here.
I know just enough of French to say something that'll get me punched in the face. I don't know anything real. All right. Hello, Mr. Rose, and hello, Mr. White. I heard that Jeffrey is coming to the Naked Man Festival here in Japan.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't know Jeffrey swung like that. I have actually been to the festival.
Have you really?
And met my ex-wife there.
There
are spectators at the Naked Man Festival. So, there are women there. They're just not competing.
I don't know how that.
I don't understand the swung like that part of it though, because it appears as though people just wrestle. That's it.
888-368-1580.
There's this tradition of being in the river and pouring water on yourself before you start.
Water. What?
I don't fully get it, to be honest. I don't know much about the Naked Man Festival.
Water.
I'm just going based on the video that I saw in the article, because Jeffrey doesn't explain things, so I had to look it up myself. Or at least maybe he just didn't want to explain this, which is also possible, I guess.
888-368-1580.
Really, your ex-wife? Okay. Look at that.
Ex-wife.
That's just going to open a can of worms.
Ex-wife. Random facts for you guys. Keon, did you know that 72% of U.S. online shoppers have a PayPal account? Did you know that?
Did I know that? No, I did not. No.
And now you do. Did you know, Keon?
I feel like you're being interrogated on the stand.
Well, no. I'm just asking if you know or not know. It's not diving into your belief system or anything. But did you know? After World War I, the Australian military started the Great Emu War, where they tried to cull emus with machine guns, and emus mostly won. Did you know that?
I did not know that. How did the emus win? I'm not actually surprised. They're insanely cruel animals. They're very mean. And they are dinosaurs. So, they still have their little claws, actually, under their wings.
Did you know, Mr. Rose, Tanzania has one of the highest rates of albinism in the world, and often albinos are hunted by witch doctors to make potions?
No, I did not
know that?
any of those things. No.
Now you do.
Well, all right.
Did you know,
Oh, boy.
Mr. Rose, there's a mental psychosis known as Jerusalem syndrome, which is the phenomenon whereby a person who seems previously balanced and devoid of any signs of psychopathology behavior becomes psychotic after arriving in Jerusalem. Did you know?
No. How would that work? That just doesn't seem like a thing that should be possible. I just learned a bunch of new stuff. All right.
Did you know, Mr. Rose? China has a 5,000 kilometer underground tunnel system that's used to store and transport nukes to their silos. It's called the Underground Great Wall of China.
I did not know that. That's kind of a cool fact, but no, I did not know that. No.
Is that a cool fact, really?
I mean, everybody has nukes, so I hope no one uses them. But as far as like 5,000 miles of underground tunnel,
5,000 kilometers, not miles,
kilometers. Sorry,
Yeah.
Just as far as a feat of engineering.
In China, they're using the metric system,
That's true.
Dewey Decimal, and all that business.
I don't know which one is bigger, 5,000 miles or 5,000 kilometers. So yeah, no, good distinction. Yeah.
I'll tell you what's bigger. It's 5,000 miles. It's bigger because that's American, Jack. Did you know, Mr. Keon Rose? In ancient Egypt, any books found in ships coming into port would be brought immediately to the Library of Alexandria and be copied. The original would be kept in the library, and the copy would be given back to the owner. Did you know that?
I only knew part of that.
You knew part of that?
Yeah. I don't know why. I have no idea where I read that, but I didn't know that they immediately copied it.
Oh, immediately, says here. Immediately. Books were taken and immediately copied. What's the situation there? I mean, if I have a book like Lord of the Rings or something, and they take it from me and they give me a bunch of papers back, what the hell?
I think they give you the original back.
No.
Isn't that what it just
says here? No. The original is
they kept the
in
original
library
Oh.
and the copy given back to the owner.
Well, don't bring any books to the ancient
That's what I'm
Egyptians.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If you listen, Fourth Dimension, if you sail into Egypt, make sure you don't bring any real books with you, unless they're books you don't want.
You don't need anymore. Yeah.
Did you know, Mr. Rose, Staying Alive by the Bee Gees was used in a study to train medical staff to perform CPR? The song has close to a 104 beats per minute and 100 to 120 chest compressions per minute are recommended by the British Heart Foundation.
I did know that. I had a girlfriend that was CPR certified. She told me that.
Staying Alive.
Yeah. I listen, it's a random thing that I know. I know a bunch of random stuff, things that are mostly useful in day-to-day life.
You haven't known anything here yet.
Well, I know that.
Did you know?
Uh-oh.
Mr. Rose, Vin Diesel's very first film role was an acclaimed film Awakenings, where he briefly appeared as a hospital orderly. Did you know that?
I did not know that, no. And I cannot imagine going to a hospital and the orderly is Vin Diesel. That seems comical to me, but,
Oh, we're all family.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all family.
I need medical attention, and I walk in and I see Dominic Toretto. That's going to scare me for all bad reasons. All bad reasons. Yeah.
Did you know? Due to alleged contract disputes and the claim of a mild back injury, Tobey Maguire was nearly fired from Spider-Man 2 and replaced by Jake Gyllenhaal. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and that's weird. That's just an alternate timeline that I just popped up in my head where Jake Gyllenhaal was somehow Spider-Man, and that I'm having trouble imagining it. I really am. Don't think I can get my head around that one.
So far, I've stumped the great Keon Rose.
Well, except for that one thing.
Did you know the Roman numeral IV was originally I, and made Roman multiplication simpler with less memorization. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No, I don't know anything about Roman numerals.
Might have
though.
been 4 I's. Sorry. Yeah. I.
Sometimes I can figure out the number, but that's about it. Yeah.
IV is 4, I think.
Yeah.
Amazing facts here. I mean, Haruto's on the text line again. Oh, geez.
Okay, let me see what I can do.
So all these scratchy Japanese writing there. According to
It's a question
text
about
line,
KFC. I could tell you that right
just
off the-
another face in the crowd says another one bites the dust. Also used for timing for CPR. Really? I didn't.
I didn't know that one.
Did not know that. And Haruto. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Let's see here. Haruto says, "Did you know that Japan's traditional Christmas Eve meal is KFC? Did I trip Keon? That can't be true, Haruto. That is simply not true. KFC, Haruto, we made KFC, and we don't like KFC like that. To have on Christmas Eve, I disbelieve
Well, I mean-
that. The facts have to be true, Haruto. I think that's important here.
Did you know, Mr. Keon Rose? Did you know? In Italy, 6 scientists were charged with manslaughter because they did not predict an earthquake which killed 309 people. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No. That seems
Too
kind of
bad.
unfair. Just
Yeah. it's too
how
bad.
can you predict an earthquake? There are indicators, but sometimes those indicators might not tell you that the earthquake is actually
It's really
coming.
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes those
When you
indicators
think about all that Italian cooking. You're not going to have any
Clearly, I don't have my priorities straight.
spaghetti or lasagna. Last one before we take a break. Did you know, Mr. Keon Rose, there's a hotel in Kenya that also serves as a giraffe sanctuary, and the giraffes stick their heads into the windows to get snacks at breakfast time. Did you know that, sir?
I did not know that. No. I did not know that.
Trying to help you out. I'm trying to educate the fourth dimension here.
Well, what's going to happen to me is 2 or 3 of these facts are going to stick into my head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then 6 years from now, someone's going to
Yeah.
say, "Did you know?" And I'm going to be like, "Yeah." And I'm not going to remember that I learned it here. The fact stays where I found it. I don't know.
Scratch me because it puts in some sort of a CNN travel article on Christmas tradition in Japan. I don't know what that means. Is that about KFC? So in Japan, they like KFC at Christmas? Scratch me because also says, my suggestion to make your show better, figure out what Ralph does on his show and do the opposite. Wow. We're late for a break. We're going to take one now. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580. Wow. And 99.3, The Fanatic.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on Carol. She's more focused on hitting a high note than the car in front of her. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
It's election time. Make your vote count. Register to vote or check your voter registration by going to arizona.vote. Remember, elections are run at the local level by your friends and neighbors, and there are safeguards in place every step of the way to ensure your vote is counted accurately and securely. For more information and updates, visit arizona.vote, your trusted source of election information. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Secretary of State's office.
1580, The Fanatic.
Miss Kim says, I would think that if you're doing CPR on someone, you definitely want to do it to staying alive, then another one bites the dust. Just saying.
Good point.
I mean, staying alive, okay, because you're doing a CPR, another one bites the dust, and then they die on you. I mean,
and if someone hears you singing that could potentially, their family's not going to be thrilled to hear that. There could be court hearings. Let's just not go there.
Yeah.
Staying alive, at least everybody knows that was your intention.
Look, if you're doing CPR, don't sing out loud. I guess that's the only thing I can say. 888-368-1580 is the text line for the Fourth Dimension. You are texting in, making it a great show. Thank you so much. I'll get with you in just a second here. Oh, wait a minute. Moist One says I'm being whiteballed on the text line. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Being whiteballed on the text line.
I'm. Is that the opposite of being blackballed?
Huh. So now wait. Today's the 27th, right? I haven't seen any of these. And he's got Flipoworski, or what's his name?
Filipowski.
Okay, that's him. Yeah.
What
wasn't faking it, and it sucks he got hurt, but he was definitely taking out some frustration on the fan. No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. Go back and find that angle that's just above. He didn't initiate contact.
Yeah.
how
they
can
ran into him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can he take anything out on anybody? That person ran just full on into him.
I mean, that was at 4:08. I'm sorry I missed these. Moist One, I didn't see him.
Well, it happens on this text line. I noticed that
sometimes
that if somebody texts and then they keep on texting, it just keeps moving them to the back.
Oh,
so
that's what it is.
Yeah, so you never quite get to them
See,
because they continue to text. Yeah, it's
4:25. See, he says, I'm taking the Coyotes to win by over 1.5 goals tonight. Well, I mean, it's against the Canucks, I guess. And then he says at 4:38, did she give you a few pumps to what?
Moist One.
And then he says at 4:39, remember when Maggie Gyllenhaal was Batman's lover? Woof. Who?
It was the.
Is there a Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Yeah. Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's sister's Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh my God! Now we're talking about.
And they replaced what's her name with Maggie. So like they just recast her from movie 1 to movie 2. Yeah.
And then at 4:41, he says, "I'm going to get a cheesa from KFC tonight." Cheesa.
Yeah, it's a
that?
pizza, but the base of it is just chicken. It's just sauce and cheese and pepperoni.
Should it be like a chizza then? Like a chicken chizza?
I
see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So.
And then he says, "I'm being whiteballed on the text line." No.
No, your text just keeps moving to the back of the line is what's happening.
After he left, he says, "Better than blue balled."
Oh, boy. I mean, anything's better than that, I guess. But what do you just why?
Big George says, "Is that the reason I don't get my text read?" What? You guys are kidding me, right?
On days where you text a ton, yeah.
I mean, I read your Randy.
You know.
What's your take on the Coyotes' 12-game losing streak?
George,
I read that
Randy,
one, George.
Randy quite literally read it and answered it, George. What?
Haruto says something about timeout.com, Tokyo things to do.
Yeah, no, I double checked it during the break, and Haruto is correct. Apparently, people in Japan usually the article I saw made it seem more like foreigners who visit Japan and can't get turkey for Thanksgiving. Or that's not Thanksgiving, turkey for Christmas.
Turkey?
They settle for chicken
in Japan?
instead.
They can't get turkey in Japan.
Well, it's just not sold that much, so I think it's expensive. It's just
damn
not worth it.
I need to call my friend in North Carolina. Send them some turkeys immediately.
We have a ton here, so that's not a problem for us.
Let's see here. How would Dusty Rhodes do in the Naked Man Wrestling Party? Not good. Dusty Rhodes would not do good in that. I don't even want to speculate. We don't need to conjure up Dusty Rhodes for the Japanese Naked Man Wrestling Party. It's not a wrestling party. It's a legitimate thing. And that's where Jeffrey is. It's legitimate.
And don't you dare put the curse of the mental image of Dusty Rhodes in a loincloth in my head. I don't need that. Do not need that.
He wouldn't be in a loincloth. You know what he would wear? Some of those overalls.
Yeah. That's the thing is he would just refuse the loincloth.
I'm going to get those talismans. I'm going to get the blessed talismans. Dusty Rhodes are going to get in there. And these little Japanese cats, they can't hang with the American dream. Daddy, listen, the American dream. Dusty Rhodes is going to get the blessed talisman. I mean, I'm just saying, if he was there, maybe. Daddy. 888-368-1580. Desert Viking says Keon and Jeffrey sure stepped it up and had a great show all last week. Was that a slap at me or?
You know,
look, man, I'm just trying to do the show the best I can and keep the airplane level. Jeffrey is the leader of our show. And Keon, clearly the sexiest man in sports talk radio, has more to say than me. If you don't like what I'm doing, Desert Viking, perhaps Jeffrey will be back tomorrow, and then I'll just be quiet. What do you think about that? Speak French to Me, featuring Randy, the Blender segment we never knew we needed. I can't speak French. Jeffrey speaks French way better than me. Oh, good Lord.
I took French in high school and I took French in college and I retained almost none of it. And I can't do the accent. I just...
You poo-poo America. I blow smoke in your face. Smoke the cigarettes. And I eat the crusty bread. But you You poo-poo Americans. You smoke the cigars like fools. Ha! And you eat the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Ha! We don't eat the chicken here. We eat the eggs. We have eggs du fromage. That's what we have here in France. Go away, you poo-poo Americans. I hope you like my smoke. I hope that was good. I don't know.
That wasn't bad. I thought that was pretty. That was pretty good.
Aiden's Army. There you go. Kyle G says, of all the things Moist One has thrown out on his text line, him going to get that abomination called a Chiza from KFC is the most disgusting. What a wretched, wicked man.
The thing is, it's not that disgusting. It's essentially just like a chicken parm with no bread. That's all that's happened there. Now, I happen to not like KFC's chicken very much, so
you don't.
No, not
even
really.
their extra crispy. I love their extra crispy.
It's been a while, but no, I don't know.
I have to eat their extra crispy.
Listen, if that's what you got to put in your mouth, then that is absolutely fine. For me, though, doesn't really hit like that for me. So I just kind of
gonna put anything in your mouth, but make sure it's extra crispy.
Naturally.
888-368-1580. Let's get going here. We've got a few minutes to start this. Oh, geez. We're going to have to do it at the top of the next hour. Oh, geez.
Well, you have to get the text line all cleared up, so I get it.
I had this thing all set, ready to go. Keon Rose's college basketball primer. We're going to have to take care of it at the beginning of the next hour. 2 hours down, one more to go. We've got some NFL news. We've got some NBA stuff. Mostly NFL in the next hour on this date in Big Georgia sports history. Maybe we have a wheel of sports if we get to, oh my God, if we get time. There's one on there about a wild turkey that cuts power, a woman who got stuck in a toilet, and a man who died after striking a tree with a golf cart. It's all in the wheel of sports next hour here on the Fanatic.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Phoenix area attorneys. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only. CordellCordell.com.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
Mom, where are my keys?
Why do I have to take out the garbage? I'm too sick to go to school. Quit hogging the bathroom!
If you're having a hard time living with all the noise, it's even harder to live without it. Fake pills with fentanyl are the #1 killer of youth in Arizona. Learn how to talk to your kids at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down. forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at AFW.com. AFW.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K242 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
Welcome, everybody, to the third and final hour of this Tuesday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios, beautiful uptown Scottsdale. And you are the fourth dimension, texting in on our text line at 888-368-1580. Big George, Hefty Lefty, I see you on there. Kiss the Cook, I see you on there. Get to you in just a moment. My name is Randy White. Jeffrey O'Brien, I'll talk to you about him in just a second. But right over there, the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio, that's Keon Rose, as we are broadcasting live on this Tuesday, heading into college basketball's greatest time of year. Don't you think, Keon? The conference championships and then right into the tournament. I mean, is it more fun or not? I mean, I think it's a lot of fun this time of year.
It is. It's actually my favorite time of year on the sports calendar. I mean, it's just, you know, college basketball is just been a part of my life, you know, since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And filling out brackets. I remember the first bracket I filled out.
Yeah.
Maybe 05. And it was, you know, I picked Kansas to win everything.
There we go.
They were immediately knocked out by the Bucknell Bison. I remember this. I will never forget the Bucknell Bison for that very reason. And I have not picked Kansas to win a national title in a bracket since. I don't trust them. Even when they're good, you know, I will always say, look, that's a contender, but they're Kansas. So I just, you know,
you just never know, do you?
No. And I think that's like, I have all of these memories about it. So it's always exciting this time of year. And I get up for it. It's good.
All right. 888-368-1580. Jeffrey O'Brien, not in today. He's at the Naked Man Festival, which is an annual event commonly known in Japan as this Naked Man Festival. It's been going on for over 1,000 years. Jeffrey, very in tune with the Japanese people, with the Japanese tradition, and he likes to go over there and participate in this at the Kokusukeji Temple in Oshu. And his task in this Naked Man Festival is to wrestle against other men for a bag of talismans blessed by the temple chief priest. However, this is the last time they're going to do it because of a low popularity. I think it's sad. And I'll be honest with you. I think Jeffrey's going to be sad when he comes back from Japan. He's going to be sad. This is something he really looked forward to. And he's won these talismans several times during this festival in northeastern Japan. So that's where Jeffrey is today. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow, and you guys can rest knowing that the A team is back. But before we get to the text line, I want to talk to you, Keon, about basketball. Every year I have a hard time filling out my bracket. I mean, you can watch a lot of TV. You watch a lot of games. You can listen to the talking heads. You can devise your own secret strategies, but it never seems to work out. And then I always end up waiting until the brackets are set. So after the tournaments, about 2 weeks from now, after the tournaments are done, on that Sunday afternoon, they set the bracket, and that's when I go in and I make up my my bracket based upon what these quote unquote experts see. Right now, I think Purdue, Houston, Arizona, and UConn are the number 1 seeds, but I mean, I could be way off here. But I think if I were to look at the brackets today, that's the way I would lay it out. I mean, I don't know about you.
I think you're right. If you go to the Ken Palm rankings and you look at the top 4, those are the schools that are there. They have
there
Houston,
you go.
They have Houston number 1,
yeah.
Purdue 2, UConn 3, Arizona 4.
So I mean, that's the way I said today, but I figured we would kind of run through this primer with you, and I would ask you some questions about teams, and maybe you could give the fourth dimension is something to look forward to. I mean,
yeah, I can definitely do my best. I watch a lot of college basketball, but I obviously can't watch every game. I would love to, but I have to work to make money and things. So but I also have to exercise and eat and sleep. But I try to watch as much college basketball as I humanly can. So
let's look at some of the playing games. As they stand right now, let's look at some of the playing games and see who you think is going to move on to get a spot in the big dance. Let's start with Utah. Are they in or are they out?
Yeah, that Utah's kind of tough. They're a bubble team, so your Utah and Colorado. If you're looking in the Pac-12, those are the 2 teams that are potentially on the bubble, and I can't necessarily make a clear determination on Utah. I find them to be a pretty confusing team. They can be genuinely hard to predict. They're kind of up and down, but just based on record, they've got a really good shot. I think that they need another big win. I don't think that they necessarily have. I'm sorry, look at the wrong bracket there. Yeah, no, they actually have a decent amount of quad 1 wins. I think if they get one more, they'll probably be in. That would be my guess.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Gonzaga or Ole Miss. Who are you picking out of that duo?
Yeah, that's another tough one. I think with Gonzaga, I from everything I've read so far, Gonzaga is projected to be in. They're having a down year, I think, for them by their standards, but they are good enough, and they have a very good record, and of course they're in that same West Coast Conference with St. Mary's, which does also look really, really good. So my guess is that Gonzaga would get in. They've got a handful of quad 1 wins as well. So I think the Ken Palm is favoring them a lot. With Ole Miss being in the SEC, they've been beaten up a lot, and so I'm going to say Ole Miss doesn't make it. I'm going to go Gonzaga.
All right. We're not saying that these teams are in the tournament. We're just talking about it. Sort of a college basketball primer on maybe teams that you can look forward to in the tournament. And so I want to ask you, Keon, what do you think about teams that might win it all? I'm just going to throw some teams out there, and you tell me yes or no, and give me your comments. Ready?
All right, let's go.
Let's go with Marquette. Yes or no?
Yes. I think Marquette's a really good basketball team. They've been really consistent this year. They got absolutely destroyed by UConn, but then they were able to bounce back and have another big win. I think they're a mentally tough team. Shaka Smart's a fantastic coach. I'm going to say Marquette's a yes.
All right. What about Creighton?
Creighton is another yes. I think we saw what they were able to do to UConn. They were composed. They shot the basketball very well. That's a basketball school through and through. They're well coached. And, if UConn's one of the 4 best teams in the country, and I don't think anyone would argue that. And if you can handle a UConn team, because they didn't squeak one out. They dominated that game from start to finish.
Yeah.
I don't see how it is that you can't compete for a national title if the matchups go right.
All right. How about Arizona? Can they win it all?
Yeah, they're really good, and because we like to make fun of you Arizona and find bad things to say about them, and anytime they've been upset this year, there have been plenty of reasons to mock them. But whenever they get upset or whenever they get beaten, they follow that up with a string of wins that gets them right back on track. So they don't get a bunch of losing streaks generally. And I think that lends itself to playing really well in March and in the tournament to be able to string together lots of victories.
What about North Carolina?
North Carolina's got RJ Davis. And I think that he, as an individual player, I think that you have a player that good, you can have a shot. But I think that there are lots of things with North Carolina. I just don't think that they're a particularly consistent team. And I think that there are a lot of really bad matchups, especially when they go up against teams that are bigger, that just wind up being bad matchups for them. They get pushed around, in my opinion. And I don't find them to be a tough team. I wouldn't take North Carolina.
All right. So that's a no on North Carolina.
They're real good, though. I wouldn't say they're winning the tournament.
All right. Does Tennessee, can they win the tournament?
They can, but I'll put them, if I were to, of all the schools we mentioned so far, I would put them closer to North Carolina. They have a talented player in Dalton Connect, who is, I think, a revelation for them. I don't know that they plan to have the kinds of production that they had out of him, but he emerged over the course of the season as their number 1 scoring option. Tennessee plays fantastic defense, but if Dalton Connect doesn't have a good game, Tennessee's offense it doesn't exist. And that scares me in the NCAA tournament, because I've seen a number of times where a team has one really great player that their whole offense runs through. Then they get to the tournament, teams focus on that guy, they take him away, and whoever's left, the others, the role players, those guys have to step up. And it's been really streaky for the Vols.
What about Houston? Can they win the entire thing? Can they win the whole title?
Absolutely can.
Yeah.
Absolutely can. They are one of the best defensive teams in the country, if not the best defensive team in the country. Just depends on how you feel about it. They're especially really good guarding the perimeter. And they're tough. That's a tough basketball team. They don't lose a whole lot of games because there wasn't effort. They give maximum effort 100% of the time. And their defensive ability doesn't just come from effort. They're also very well coached. I think that their weakness is probably going to be they go up against a team that shoots the ball really, really well. They might have some issues, but they make it hard on you and they beat you up. And if the officials let Houston play, look out.
Isn't Houston one of the older teams in the tournament?
Yeah. That's a school that's worked the transfer portal really well. So they've been able to get guys that maybe wanted to play more somewhere else, guys who are a little bit disgruntled. If you're able to work the transfer portal, and we've seen a number of teams be able to do this in college hoops, you can beat teams that might be more talented on just experience. The guys that you have seen a number of different situations. They've played a lot of college basketball, and in the tournament, you're going to be faced with a number of different situations from game to game. How do your guys respond? Houston knows how to respond to those things because they are older. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of experience then.
Yeah, and that's a factor in college basketball. That's the reason why we've seen schools that aren't the blue bloods. Houston isn't. Villanova had a great run there when Jay Wright was the coach. They weren't a blue blood, but their ability to get players, use the transfer portal, and then also keep guys on that team for 3 to 4 years. You have less one and dones. Your advantage is that you're more experienced than schools that might have better players.
All right. What about the defending champs, UConn?
Of course. I actually thought that up until a couple of weeks ago, kind of was just going to be UConn again. I just like they were clearly the best team in the country, and they've been brought down to earth a little bit. I think the Creighton loss definitely hurt them, and I think definitely exposed how you can beat UConn if you have the players to do it. It's easier said than done. I'm not saying that anybody can just go in there and figure it out, but when you look at how UConn generally plays, they know they're good. They've got that swagger in the way that they carry themselves. They're patient. They don't rush shots, so they'll use the entire shot clock if they have to. They're a fantastic basketball team, and I almost thought that I was going to have them, no matter where they were matched up. I almost thought I was going to have them, winning the whole thing, but I'm going to have to rethink that because they have been beaten a few times.
Should they be a number one seed?
They should absolutely be a number one seed. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. What about Purdue and Jake Edey? And is he all they have, or do they have other guys that can help this team? And can they win it all?
Yeah, no, Purdue can absolutely win it all. And Zach Edey isn't the only player for Purdue. They do have other guys. I think that they've gotten deeper at guard over the last year, because I think that there is an understanding that Zach Edey can't do it all by himself. And then they get to the tournament and they throw the ball, to him, and it's all on his shoulders. He's got to carry the team, and that doesn't really work. That's been a major problem for them. So they tried to get him some help. They tried to get him, some support moving forward. And I do think that it is going to affect how teams play. But the fact is, they still rely on him a lot. You still take Zach Edey out of the game, and you still give Purdue a lot of trouble. Maybe not as much trouble as you would have before, but they have Braden Smith, who's averaging 12 points a game. He's a pretty good rebounder for a wing player as well. And he's a good shooter, which I think is the kind of player you need to put around Zach Edey to be successful.
So what about some long shots? I know Indiana State, people might not know this. I'll just throw it out there. Larry Bird came from Indiana State. They are, what's their record? 24-5 overall. They're 15-3 in their conference, which is Missouri Valley. They're number one in their conference. Should they make the tournament? Is this one of the long shots you have, the dark horse you might have to win the tournament, kind of from the outside looking in?
Yeah. So Indiana State is a school that they have a good net rating, but people look at the actual schedule and go, I don't know, something seems like it's missing here. Where's that big, signature victory?
Okay.
But they handle their business really well. I think that they're a team that they've done enough to put themselves in the conversation, but it's going to be a really close one. I think that they're going to be a bubble team, and I like them to get in, because I just think that they do have a good enough record, and they have beaten some good teams. But yeah, just they don't have the strongest resume. So, if it comes down to them and a school that maybe played some tougher opponents and beat some tougher opponents, Indiana State could be on the outside looking in, but I would have them in.
All right. So there you go. That's Keon Rose's men's basketball primer. 888-368-1580. Jonesy wants to know, is Arizona winning it all this year? Lots of ups and downs, but we're back. Is Arizona going to win it all, in your opinion?
They can. I don't want to say that they will. I don't know what their matchups are going to be. I don't know who they're playing, and I do think the matchups are going to matter. That's one reason why it's hard to make that kind of a decision without seeing the bracket. How many times have we seen teams that we thought could go all the way or could go further, and then they get a matchup that just doesn't favor them at all, and maybe they struggle, maybe they lose early. But Arizona can, like they have the talent. That's pretty obvious. And if you want to say they're back, yeah, they're probably going to be a 1 seed. That's back. Yeah.
I know you already talked about this, but Bruno Baller says, is Purdue one of those teams with one really good player and might get upset in the tournament?
I don't think they have one really good player, because I think Braden Smith is really, really good. I think they have two, but if Braden Smith has a bad shooting day, Purdue might be done. It's still, even if Braden Smith plays well, it still kind of all comes down to Zach Edey. The teams that have been able to get to Purdue to beat them have made Edey uncomfortable, have gotten him out of his that spot on the low block where he likes to operate and work around the basket. He's still not a comfortable shooter. He's got a decent mid-range shot, but he's still not really, comfortable with it. So no, I think that Purdue's track record of being knocked out of the tournament early should make you think that it's possible for it to happen again. But Braden Smith is a good player, and I don't want to make it seem like it's the Zach Edey show and that's it.
Haruto wants to know.
Okay.
Is the University of Hawaii men's team, do they qualify for the tournament? Their overall record is 16-12.
No. I'll be nice about it. The Ken Palm rankings have them at 164. So they're not even close. And their conference is not particularly tough, and their record is just okay for being in that conference. So sadly, Haruto, no, I think the answer is no.
All right. Finally, before we go to break here, Hamilton Porter says, does GCU get in, or did that last loss knock them out of a bid?
Well, no. I mean, you still got the conference tournament ahead. So no, I don't think that knocks them out. Currently, they're a bubble team. Like, if things just ended the way they were today, they'd be the last team in. So I'm sure that's not exactly what GCU wants to hear. I know they want to have a better seed, better position. They should go ahead and win that conference tournament. But if they don't, there's still a chance they can get in.
All right, so that's going to do it right now for Keon's basketball primer. 888-368-1580. Feel free to text in your questions, and we thank you all for joining a part of it. When we come back, we got some NFL news to talk about and a whole lot more on this date in Big Georgia sports history and tons of stuff. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The Boston Celtics have the best record in the NBA at 45-12. They are the betting favorite to win the Eastern Conference at plus 100, while the Milwaukee Bucks, still figuring themselves out with new head coach Doc Rivers, are plus 290 to win the East. The New York Knicks are the third betting favorite in the conference at plus 800. Over in the West, the Denver Nuggets are the betting favorite to represent that conference in the NBA Finals at plus 210, while the LA Clippers are plus 240. The Oklahoma City Thunder are plus 700 to represent the Western Conference, and the Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant are plus 850. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Come join American Furniture Warehouse and see our amazing deals on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom furniture and mattresses, dining room furniture and accessories. AFW has the latest styles, largest selection, and lowest prices anywhere. Our warehouses are full and ready for you to take your new furniture home today. At American Furniture Warehouse, you'll find the perfect items for your space at a price you'll love. Visit one of our 3 Phoenix area showrooms or shop online at afw.com. afw.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer, Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan, depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
The Renaissance Festival is back!
Weekends now through March 31st.
Great shopping, a giant crafts market, new shows featuring seafarers, mermaids, and merriment.
Non-stop feasting and more. The Renaissance Festival is back.
Weekends now through March 31st. Discount tickets available at Bashes and Food City or ArizonaRenfestInfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashes, Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
We've been friends for over 30 years. And
Wait. It's been over 30 years?
Yep, you are that old.
Well, at least you have one friend.
Anyway, we have a show called The Weekend Warriors, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
We'll discuss national and local sports, and we'll talk about some sports that you don't hear about much.
We'll also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their stories with you.
We look forward to sharing these great stories and hanging out with you.
It's The Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender on Tuesday, February 27th. This is leap year, so we've got 2 days left in February. It'll be February 29, which is the day that my second oldest enlisted into the Army. February 29. I'm not sure how the Army would rectify that, how they would figure that out, because it was like a leap year. But he's not in the Army anymore, so he really doesn't care. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's interesting though. It's a good question.
What would you do? I mean, if you joined something like the Army on leap year?
I don't know. I do have I used to have a friend. I've moved away, but that was born on a.
Well, I mean, you used to have a lot of friends.
Well, yeah,
your background.
Yeah, because being an Army brat and all that. But he was born on a leap year. So what his family did.
What do you do with that?
They celebrated his birthday at midnight on the 28th, between the 28th and the 1st on every year that was not a leap year.
Oh, that would suck.
He liked it, but
that would suck. All right, get up. Because we got presents for you. It's your birthday. Get up.
It's better than
1 minute.
Well, they would stay up, really, is what it is. And then they'd celebrate a little bit, and then they'd go out and eat the next day or something like that. Which is better than, celebrating your birthday every 4 years.
I didn't get to celebrate my birthday. I was at the Weather Hexagon, in New York City. I was at the Weather Hexagon last week.
What,
that was my birthday last week.
What goes on there?
Well, I can't.
Okay.
I can tell you some of the things, but most of it's classified. We're meteorologists. We have a lot of things.
Okay.
that goes on at the weather hexagon. We're planning out things for the year, hurricanes and junk like that. So
I don't know how meteorological conventions work, so I can't say whether you're lying or telling the truth or not. I don't know.
We come up with a new nomenclature for the hurricanes and the tropical storms because they're two different entities. You got to have different nomenclature for the hurricanes than you do for the tropical storms. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Like the first hurricane might be Adam. And the second or the first tropical storm, that might be Aaron. See what I mean? We do that at the hexagon. 3 times a year we meet the hexagon. 888-368-1580. Kiss the Cook says my French accent was more like Monty Python English than French. I think Maurice Chevalier. What? Chevalier. I can't even do it. I'm American. After you left, he was 05 the year Illinois won it with Johnny Flynn, or am I way off?
I think you're right. And man, that Johnny Flynn was so good in that tournament.
Johnny Flynn.
The Timberwolves drafted him instead of Steph Curry. They regret
Chief
that.
Skull. Chief Skull says, "Did you say the festival is ending due to low T? Godspeed, Jeffrey. Good luck."
No, low.
It's not what I said.
Low population in the area because from what I understand about Japanese temples, they're not like in the city. They're all like in the in the countryside. So it's people from the country that go do this usually.
Well, men, I mean, like guys.
Yeah. But, people have been moving to the cities. People have been moving to Tokyo and other places.
They don't hang out around the temples anymore. They just move to the cities. Jonesy on the text line, 888-368-1580 says Big Ten can't play ball. Everyone knows it. But who do you have as a potential Cinderella story this year?
I wouldn't say that the Big Ten can't play ball, even though, admittedly, Wisconsin is going to be in the tournament, and I don't know what to make of Wisconsin because they almost ruined their entire season in a 2-week span.
Wisconsin.
But yeah, let me think about that. A good Cinderella story.
Cinderella story. Eye Candy says, "Hey, Mr. Randy." Really? You got to call me Mr. Randy? Do you think the University of Nebraska has a shot to make the tournament? If so, what seed? I have no idea. So I will submit my that question to my colleague here, Keon Rose.
Yeah, Nebraska is a bubble team right now. If I were to hazard a guess at this exact moment, I would say Nebraska's in. I think that their record is a solid record if they play well in the Big Ten tournament, along with some of the victories that they've been able to have throughout the year. They've got a decent amount of quad one wins. I would say Nebraska's in.
Okay, Brunswick guy says, "Hi there, Randy and Keon. This is Smack My New Brunswick Asterisks, known as Liam, the Brunswick guy. I'm a fan of the University of Vermont. They're 23-6 overall and number 1 in the America East Conference. Do you think that they're going to qualify for the tournament?" University of Vermont.
Probably not. They are, according to KenPom, they're at 99th. I can't tell you much about Vermont. I haven't really gotten to watch them. The record's not bad, but my bet would be the ratings does not favor the schedule that they've had, that they haven't beaten enough quality opponents that are, close to being ranked or being ranked. That really helps your case when you're a school like Vermont. They don't necessarily have that. And I think they are ranked just too far outside of that, it's like maybe 30 spots outside of the number to really be considered. That I don't think Vermont's getting it.
Big George, you're confusing me. Big George. In one text, he says, I'm not accusing you of that, Randy. I know Jeffrey gets a lot of tons every day, and a lot of mine might be considered blabbering, so I'm okay with it. Then he goes on to say, if Jeffrey is back on the show tomorrow, are you saying he did a show yesterday, flew to Japan, participated in the Naked Man Festival, flew back the same day? Those travel logistics are of Taylor Swift proportions. And then he alerts us that the Coyotes are already losing 1-0 to Montreal.
Jeffrey is independently wealthy, Big George. Hope that helps.
Don't know why you're questioning Jeffrey's travel plans, Big George.
Jeffrey is plotting to buy an island.
I mean, he's said many times on this show, he's capable of almost the impossible. Another face in the crowd says, hey, Keon, does Randy talk about the weather? Hang on. Does Randy talk about the weather hexagon with a straight face?
Yes.
It's a weather hexagon. I New York City, weather hexagon. I was there. Iris Hermosillo, she was there. Maybe you heard her. Yeah, Dave Muncy was there. He's retired, and he doesn't even have to be there, and he was there. C. McLaughlin, he was there. Royal Norman, does that ring any bells? He was there. It's the weather hexagon. So Heavy Metal Maniacs wants me to tell about the worst weather story you could tell us that you've ever experienced live. Do people die? Was there a hurricane or tornado to share? First of all, Heavy Metal Maniacs, I wouldn't share what a tornado or hurricane with anyone. I think that's mean on your part, and I think it's terrible that you would expect me, as a meteorological genius, to go out and share catastrophic tornadoes and hurricanes with people. And second of all, I don't think you can handle the weather catastrophic story that I have. My worst weather catastrophic story. I don't think you can handle it. Quiet Cannon says, one last useless trivia fact. Oh, goody. I can't wait. When an ant gets drunk, they always fall on their right side. And I, sir, Bush, that has more details on this. What the hell? When an ant gets drunk, they always fall on their right side. And I, sir, Bush has more details on this. What the hell?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm following any of that.
Quiet Cannon. What the hell? We got to take a break. When we come back on this date in Big George's sports history, I've got some other stuff to talk about, including some news out of the NFL Competition Committee. We have breaking news from the NFL Competition Committee. And why is Cam Newton involved in a melee at a youth football game? All that's around the corner here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Phoenix area attorneys. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only. CordellCordell.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Our Chandler police benefit from serving a supportive community. That strong partnership equips our police with the support, training, and technology needed to keep our city and employees safe. Our sunny skies and active lifestyle offer personal and family time for the desired work-life balance. Find your fit with the Chandler Police Department. Learn more at jointeamchandler.com. This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Kind of like the groove, man.
Yeah, man.
We are headed for the end of the show here on this Tuesday edition of the Daily Blender on this 27th day of February. 888-368-1580 is the text line. Thank you to so many people on there. CK, thank you for the birthday wishes. Appreciate that very much. Just another face in the crowd has a very interesting question. If all the local weather experts were in New York, who's doing the weather here? Well, you didn't miss them, did you? While they were gone, you didn't miss them, right? I mean, I'm probably the only one you missed. Probably, maybe. I'm just saying. That's the way it goes. Big George, thank you, Keon, for your insightful analysis this past segment.
Thank you.
About the state of men's basketball. I take it ASU won't be making the tournament despite ranked 34th in the AP poll.
That is correct, and that is because if I can go ahead and pull up their KenPom ranking, they are ranked 116th.
Oh boy.
They don't have enough quality victories. They have some really bad losses. They're not even close. Like, yeah, okay. So the sports writers think that they look better, but the top 25 ranking is not how you get into the NCAA tournament.
Mm.
It's about the quality of the wins you have, and they don't have a ton.
Moist One says Vermont will probably win their conference and get in with an automatic bid, though.
That's true. That's true. If they win the conference, that's in. But they can't leave that into the hands of anybody in the selection committee, because if they do, my guess is nothing's happening for them.
For some reason, Prison Wallet. I don't know if this is secret code or if maybe I shouldn't read this. I don't know. It simply says dork, fork, pork, mork, Bjork.
Bjork, yeah.
Dork, fork, pork, mork, Bjork.
Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I don't know if something just happened. I don't know if we've released a hell on earth. I don't know what's going on.
Are you attempting to be Swedish Chef? What is going on?
Mork, pork, pork, mork.
That's the first thing that popped into my head. Yeah.
All right, so let's do this before Big George gets crazy with me. It's time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. On this date, back in the year 1960, the United States men's ice hockey team defeated the USSR with a 3-2 win to get them on the road to the gold medal in the VIII Winter Olympic Games in Squaw Valley, California, in what's been known as the Forgotten Miracle on Ice. I don't think it's been forgotten. I just never heard of it. I mean, I think more appropriately, I'd never heard of it win. The Forgotten Miracle of Ice, making reference to the more famous 1980 gold medal known as the Miracle on Ice. The Forgotten Miracle on... What do you... I don't understand, Big George. So Herb Brooks was the coach of the 1980 team. He was the last player cut from the 1960 team by Jack Riley. Well, no wonder he was angry all the time. Did you see the movie Miracle?
I did, but boy, it's been a long time.
Yeah, Herb Brooks was pissed off. He was angry all the time. And he was the guy that got cut. He was the last guy cut by Jack Riley in 1960. In 1960, that's when the Americans last won the gold before 1980. So, wow, it's probably why he was angry.
Yeah, that would
took
play
it
a
out
part.
on all these college guys. Anyway, is Denver shopping Russ Wilson? Do you think?
Yeah.
you think they're going to try to move on from him? Do you think
the moment they benched him in favor of a quarterback that was not better than him?
Really? So you think is his contract too rich for their blood? That type of thing?
Yeah, it's the contract's too rich for their blood, but also Sean Payton doesn't like him. I don't think Russ has anything against Sean. But Sean does not like Russell Wilson, and he's made it incredibly clear. And the way he treats Russell Wilson, I mean, just screaming at him on the sidelines, sometimes not even when it was, the thing wasn't even his fault, just something went wrong with the offense. And Sean Payton would let Russell Wilson have it. I don't think that they're a good fit for each other. The way Russell Wilson plays, I think Sean wants somebody that drops back and is more methodical, picks people apart. And Russell Wilson is looking for the big play. He's always moving around, extending plays, trying to, get out of the pocket and see if he can break down the defense. And then he strikes. It's just not a good fit because that's not what Sean Payton even wants.
Apparently, the report from Sean Payton is that he's expecting a resolution with this subject of Russell Wilson in the next 2 weeks. Really?
Yeah, I mean,
2 weeks.
I think because you're trying to make all of the moves that you need to make before the draft. So you've got the free agency window opening up and all that stuff. Like they want to make sure all that's done so that they know here's the moves that we need to make, in free agency, and here are the moves that we need to make in the draft. And we need to know what assets do we have from the Russ trade. And we need to know, are we looking for another quarterback, and from where? Because if they trade Russell Wilson and they're able to maybe make a move for Justin Fields, I have no idea how that would work. I'm not saying that that's what they're going to do.
But isn't Justin Fields the same thing as a Russell Wilson?
No, because Justin Fields has the 5th year extension to be picked up, but it wouldn't be a long-term deal. So you could get out of that in a year. So Fields gives you more flexibility to say, hey, if we try and it doesn't work, we can get out of this. You are stuck with Russell Wilson until that contract is done.
So what team is a good fit for Russ Wilson? Chicago? Oakland?
I don't think so. I mean, Russell Wilson's probably going to be a good fit
Oakland.
For
Las Vegas.
Yeah, maybe Vegas, just because where Vegas is in the draft, it would be hard for them to move up and get, maybe one of the top quarterbacks, and they can use Russell Wilson as a bridge quarterback potentially. That's one way that they could maybe do it. Maybe Chicago or maybe Washington or one of these other teams, if they're saying we're going to draft our quarterback and we want him to sit for a year. We want him to, learn behind a veteran. We want to make sure this person is up to speed on the NFL game and how it works. I think those teams might be able to, move into the Russell Wilson category.
But I mean, Washington, your guy already has a year under his belt. He knows what to expect. I mean, wouldn't this stunt his growth?
I don't think that, because they hired a new coach, new general manager, new offensive coordinator, new everything. I don't think Washington is interested in developing Sam Howell anymore.
Really?
At the number 2 pick, they are drafting a quarterback. I think they're drafting a quarterback. So no, I like Sam Howell. If they chose to build around Sam Howell, if they evaluated him and said, hey, no, there's something still here, I wouldn't be mad at that decision. But you don't get to be in the top 3 of the NFL draft very often. Even when you're bad, being there every year is hard to do. And we've got some good quarterbacks this year. So you have to think about it.
Does Denver make a trade that's not so much for Denver, but just to unload Russ Wilson and his enormous contract?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're looking for, to unload a contract of a guy they don't actually like. And
they don't even care if they get anything in return. Here's Russ. Please, dear God, take him.
I think they would like to, but they don't have leverage. Who is going to sit there and negotiate with the Broncos to get Russell Wilson when, if we know, as just all the other teams in the NFL, you don't like him and you don't want him, we could just wait for you to cut him. You'll pay for most of that contract, and then we'll fill in with some minimum money elsewhere.
What about the Steelers? Think the Steelers swoop in and pick up a veteran quarterback like Russ Wilson, Super Bowl win? Guy's he was at one point MVP level, just didn't get the votes. Everybody thinks he's been robbed in the MVP, and now he's kind of in the outs with a Denver program. Do you think maybe a Steelers program jumps in and swoops him up?
I hadn't thought about that before, but it's not a bad fit. I need to check and see where the Steelers are cap wise. I don't know off the top of my head, but when you look at what Russell Wilson can give a team, the Steelers desperately need it. They have been treading water with just Mike Tomlin being a really good coach and that defense, but they don't like what Kenny Pickett has brought to the table.
Well, was it $254 million now is the new cap price?
Yeah, because the cap went up $30 million for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a little bit of a surprise for most teams to be able to financially move around. But I know that there were a handful of teams that the $30 million still doesn't save them. I don't know if Pittsburgh's one of those teams or not off the top of my head.
All right. Pierre says, and I can read it now, Pierre, because I figured out how to translate your messages. I'm so sorry to my Arizona friends. Your Coyotes have found their match playing against the buzzsaw known as the Montreal Canadiens. Maybe the Coyotes will choose to stay in Quebec after the game and become the new Quebec Nordiques. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun to see Quebec Nordiques? I remember that back in the day. I don't know what the hell a Nordique is, Pierre, but I could tell you, man, that brings back some memories for me. You know, we all had these roller skates and we played down at the park. We played roller hockey. We didn't have ice here in Arizona, as you know. But there was this large concrete slab, and we had goals at either end. And Mike Zurbach, he gave me his mom's pillows, and he ripped up some stuff, and I put those on. I was the goalie. And Mike Zurbach and some of the guys from the neighborhood, you know, we were like this team, and we would play other streets, roller hockey. I think I still have some of the marks from roller hockey. Damn, that was fun. Holiday Park. It's still there, I think. I haven't been over there in years, but I think it's still there, Keon. It's a big concrete slab. You know, it was made for like shuffleboard and volleyball and junk. We took it over. We took the damn thing over. Roller hockey. We were the baddest dudes around.
That's pretty cool, man.
Sometimes we'd even drop the gloves and go after guys.
That's how it usually happened when we were kids. Yeah. Just like you couldn't wait. Oh, that kid's on that team.
Yeah, we're going after him. Yeah. Desert Viking wants to know, Randy, how are you? How confident are you in your earthquake predicting skills? Not very. Earthquakes are going to do what they're going to do. I don't predict earthquakes. That would not be me. And earthquakes are unpredictable.
Wouldn't be a very good use of your time out here.
No,
we don't have earthquakes.
Well, no. We feel some of them sometimes on occasion,
but they're coming from somewhere else. Some other fault line.
I think there's a fault line north of us in northern Arizona, but Prison Wallet, you just opened the seventh seal of the apocalypse of the four horsemen, and it's begun. Really? With that York.
It only makes me wonder because wouldn't Swedish Chef have already done that? That's how he talks. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah,
I feel like he would have already opened the seventh seal.
Moist One, do you believe in miracles? Yes. I'm not going to do it, Moist One. Big George gets the last word today on this edition of the Daily Blender for a Tuesday. How about Russell Wilson come play for the Arizona Cardinals? Not no, but hell no.
And pay him with what?
That's going to do it for this edition of the Daily Blender. Jeffrey O'Brien, hopefully back tomorrow. For Keon Rose, this is Randy White. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 on The Fanatic.
If you're looking for a new couch, you could cut down on expenses by bundling your car